Nice to see you all again. In this vlog, we'll be taking you with us through Coorg as we explore this place for 5 days. The Coorg has plenty of places to see, and checking all of those out in just 5 days may not be possible. We'll still try to hit a bit of both the popular and the offbeat spots. We'll trek, we'll go waterfall hunting, catching sunsets, gonna go wandering through coffee plantations, try local delicacies, go shopping, and lastly, not forget to drop our maps to chill without a plan. We are now on our way to Coorg from Goa via road, and it is an 8-hour long journey.
I think we got a little late in moving out, so chances are we'll get late to even get there. So we are 3 hours into our journey and now it has begun to rain. We're waiting for our tea and maybe some snacks because we are not really sure if we'll be getting our dinner tonight, because as per Google Maps we are going to reach there at 1 a.m.
Woke up in this quiet homestay in the middle of a forest the next day after driving all evening and most of the night. And as I had earlier anticipated, we reached here around 2 a.m. in the morning and it was still raining quite a bit. So there was nobody for a long time to come and get us in. Shortly after, the owner showed up and we were shown our room for the night. After awaking the next day, the rain had subsided and we were headed to our next stop. But we just heard that there's breakfast ready for us, so let's check that out.
And alright. So
Looks like there's homely egg curry and puttu for breakfast. I find me a space in the swing and eat after a gap of about 12 hours. Probably will be going without lunch today because from here we go off for a trek that could take up anywhere between 6 to 8 hours of our day. Hi, so this is day 1 in Coorg and we are in this guest house where we checked into at 2 a.m. last night. So this is not where we're going to spend the rest of our vacation in. We are heading out of here now. So this pretty place where we're staying is quite far from the main center of Coorg, that is Madikeri. It's quite remote, but it's a very pretty place nonetheless. So we just had our breakfast and we are heading out in a bit.
So we've checked out of our homestay and now we are driving to Tadiandamol, the peak. I mean, we are driving to the point where we start trekking from. After coming to Coorg, is that most of these tourist points of interest are located, are scattered across Coorg. So it's not like you will get to view one viewpoint here and the next point of interest will be just a few kilometers away. It's not like that. They're basically apart by an hour, and now that is where our whole confusion is, which parts do we actually start from. But we have decided to start with Tadiandamol because who doesn't want a good trek to start the day with. I hear streams. Sounds like it's running right next to me, and yes, there it is.
So we've reached the base of the trek. We have parked our vehicle after driving up a steep narrow road, and now we're making our way to the base of the trek to get our tickets for entering the sanctuary.
The track has only just begun and that is where we're going.
The day ahead looks like a lot of adventure. We have about 3 to 4 hours of climbing to do. The scenery around us is already beautiful and doesn't look like we have much company. Not anyone is ascending at this hour. It's advisable to start climbing early, and here we are still at the foothills at around 11 a.m. Weather-wise, thankfully, it's a nice and cool day with just the right amount of sunlight, so I'm still able to stay comfortable while being cladded in black from head to toe. The time now is around 1 p.m. and there are some trekkers who are now descending. We are 1.5 hours into the trek and the vistas just keep getting prettier and prettier. The peak of Tadiandamol, misty and enchanting, and now well within our view. It's just a matter of about 30 minutes till we summit.
We had seen this point now from down there.
Yes.
So we've made it to the top.
Not
Yet? There is the
Another
top.
half an hour.
What are you saying?
Yeah, this is very steep now. That's it.
Oh shit, I thought we had made it. Just when we thought we had summited this hill, we find that there's 20 minutes of hiking still left.
How's it?
Very tiring, but quite rewarding because the views were magnificent. There should have been a no selfie zone sign here. Down into a blanket of mist. Finally, we are at the peak, spending some time here taking photos, trying to capture good shots. In about a while, we'll be starting our descent.
After getting our fill of the spectacular views from the top of the peak, we began descending while the sun was still over the horizon, so that we got plenty of time to descend without worrying about visibility or getting paranoid about being chased by wild animals on our way down. So this is day 2 in Coorg and we are in Hosteller now. Hosteller, which is in Madikeri. Madikeri is one of the main towns in Coorg, and this place where we are at right now is in the midst of this forest. I'll show you the place around in just a bit. And we reached here yesterday, like right after we were done with our trek of Tadiandamol. This is where we checked in. And we are already quite late today. It's 2 p.m. and we still haven't moved out. That is because most of the places here, they close down by 6 or 5 p.m. So the plan should have been to move out earlier in the morning, but then since we were like sleep deprived for the last 3 days, we slept until 11. So if you are in Coorg for just a few days, you better be up early and go and check out the places, because all of these tourist points, they are like spread across Coorg. They are not like things that you will find along one way. So today we've planned our visits to some nearby places, so let's get going. And before I show you the place around the hostel, let me also show you around the room. I just love how spacious the room is. It's got a king-size bed, chairs, table, a cupboard, We had paid a sum of approximately 8K for 2 nights at this place. Now let me show you the best part about it. Do not mind the clothes. And this place is quite a place in itself. This is the view I was talking about. It gets much more beautiful during the day because this balcony faces east and the sun just comes inside the room, lights up this whole balcony, which is why we have all of these clothes lined up here to be dried. The location of the hosteller that we stayed in deserves a good deal of praise in this vlog. Everything right from the balcony view of our room to the surroundings, the quietness and the vibe that the place had added something of its own to our stay there. From our room, one could see a lake within the property, a wall of trees just behind it, a space with benches to just sit and chill. All of this within the hostel in a clearing flanked by tall areca nut trees. If you were free for a day, you could just spend a slow day within the hostel, just exploring the place or maybe chilling at the balcony. This place transforms to a very pretty place by night, and that I'll show you after we return tonight.
The roads in Coorg are full of curves and lots of hairpin bends.
Now, with not much time left to get around Coorg, we did a simple thing. We made our way to Chiklihole Reservoir. This spot is not much visited by tourists, so there were barely any people inside. We reached the place when it was almost sunset and caught some very novel and beautiful sights of the sun setting across the serene river, one of the tributaries of the Kaveri. I found the place to be quite meditative and really soothing, relaxing, and the only thing we were missing probably was a recliner to just watch the sun go down. Forests across the banks of the river, faint view of the hills. I'd recommend this place for having a relaxing time than as an activity. After Chiklihole, we decided to head for our evening kappa in a restaurant I had found the recommendation of through Google, but that lay in the opposite direction. So we decided to head next to Raja's Seat, another very popular spot to visit in Coorg, since that also lay on the way to our hostel and the coffee place. It was quite dark by the time we made it, and fog had almost engulfed the view of the hills and the valleys from the viewpoint. Dark, misty, silent, giving the perfect, cozy hill station vibe with the crisp backdrop of cicadas. Now it was time to head back to the hostel and enter the coffee shop on the way. So we are going to Big Cup, one of the most popular coffee spots in Madikeri, Coorg. Other than just having your coffee, you can buy coffee paraphernalia from here. Here we are checking out mocha pots, watch the process of coffee processing, feel and smell coffee beans. After waiting for a while, our food has been brought to the table. Cappuccino, burger with fries and stretchy cheesy garlic, and the temperature outside has dropped to a 16 degrees centigrade, turning the whole evening into a cozy wintry moment. With our bedtime now many hours away, thanks to that late evening coffee we had, we are now back to the hostel and are chilling at the cozy hostel terrace, which is lit up, looking pretty with lights all around. The surroundings are silent, save for the sound of frogs and other nocturnal insects.
and the muffled noise of party happening from some room in the hostel. On your third day, you might want to go on a coffee plantation tour. We picked Marsara Estate. There are many other estates. It's not really a must do, but if you want to spend a few hours wandering amongst a garden of various coffee plants, of various spices, cocoa plants, then this trip is going to be quite an educational one for you, especially if you identify as a coffee nerd. And also indulge in a bit of forest bathing while you're at it. A guide will accompany you in your voyage through the plantation and have you sample cardamoms right from the pods plucked off the trees. At least that's what happened with us. The coffee museum at Marsara could be another part of your day's itinerary. It's optional, but if you have the time, you can view coffee related artifacts from all around the world, watch some more coffee processing, and also do some chocolate tasting. After our hours-long coffee garden and coffee museum trip, we headed into the estate shop, which had a variety of their in-house coffee blends for purchase, along with the spices and the wines, of course. I tried some of the wine and it didn't go down well with my unadventurous palate that day.
Chili pork is also there?
For lunch, we went to the estate restaurant and ordered in some pandi curry, which is also called Coorg pork curry. You definitely need to try that when you're in Coorg, especially if you're into pork. It is a pork dish unlike any other I've tasted before. It tasted spicy, smoky, and was bursting with like a lot of flavors. We finished it off with a cup of filter coffee, and there we had wrapped up our brunch for the day. Here I've mixed up and shown you two different times we had lunch at Marsara with pandi curry because it was that one thing that we wanted to come back to even later.
So we are going to another cafe today called Anmane.
We kept our plans quite flexible for that day and wanted to try out a new coffee place, so we went to Anmane's store. So Anmane is a specialty coffee store, a specialty coffee brand rather, which is based out of Coorg. So other than the coffee, you can also pick up stuff for your pantry like, spices, pickles, rice, chocolates and all of that. Well, if you're wondering why am I romanticizing these random plant pots all of a sudden, that's because I'm really making an effort to give you guys the feel of this next hosteler that we've moved to. So this one's another hosteler in Coorg and it's day 4, so I'll just try to put things in perspective before we go ahead. We've checked out of the other hosteler in Madikeri where we had stayed for 3 nights and have checked into another hosteler in this area called Suntikoppa. So here we haven't made any plans for the night and have resigned to just spending our time swinging by the fireplace and soaking in the cold autumnal vibe of the night. So what else happened in day 4? Let's go back. The agenda for the day is to go to Malali Falls, which is situated some 51 kilometers away from the hostel. And we drove through these beautiful streets. Don't hate me for saying this, which don't remind me of India in any way. Just look at how clean, well maintained and beautiful this road is.
So we have reached Malali Falls, and if you can hear, oh my goodness, you see that? If you can hear the gushing sound, and it's right behind me as we speak, right by my side, and it looks like quite a trek from here. We are walking down now, so not so much of an effort, and we have to hurry up because this place closes down by 5:30. Let's see how it looks once we get to the bottom of this trek.
been climbing down and it's been going down. We do not know where should we exactly stop, at which point is going to be too much to climb back up. We have no idea, but I definitely don't think going all the way down to the bottom would be a good idea, because it's almost closing time and I don't want to be half dead by the time I reach back to the top. So we'll just try to find a good vantage point. Looks like we're closing into the sound of the gushing waterfall. We have almost made it to the base of the waterfall, and I'm not sure if I'm actually audible in this video now, because the sound is loud. The gushing is really loud. It's a very well fenced area, which is good and creates this sense of safety. And while you're ticking off the must visits from your itinerary, you should also make time to go exploring without any set agenda. For example, like taking an unplanned walk down an area that has not been in your itinerary. I feel that way you can find yourself amidst places that are not just about being tourist attractions, but harbor the soul of a place. Like we took one such detour and it led us down this quiet winding road that had tea gardens on one side and forests on the other. So yeah, if you have the time, spend time in such places. Don't worry about getting late, getting there or anywhere. Just sit, spend time, go slow, go lazy and enjoy the out of the place. So this is our last day in Coorg and our car has had a major breakdown while we were returning from Malali the previous evening. So we've got a few hours in our hands to check out a souvenir shop while the car is getting fixed. The variety is plenty in here. There is wine, coffee, home decor, local handicrafts. I, as usual, zeroed in on the chocolates, Coorg chocolates to be precise. So most of the commercial areas in Coorg have these stores in abundance and they house a huge assortment of souvenirs. So you'll never run out of options to carry back home. Later that evening, our car is back on its feet. And we are traveling to Namdroling Monastery. It's a Tibetan settlement and monastery about 35 kilometers from the center of Coorg, which is, as I previously had said, Madikeri. So once inside, apart from the monastery, this spot also has a number of Tibetan restaurants, souvenir shops. We entered this bookshop and it had a huge collection of books, like mostly spiritual. Alright, now we're inside and since it's a weekend, a large number of tourists have thronged the place. The place has many grand looking structures, temples and statues. All but one was open for tourists to get in and that's where we are going. The walls inside had these beautiful and intricately drawn murals that just locked my eyes in for like long minutes. On entering, you will be staring smack at the face of 3 golden Buddha statues of jaw-dropping beauty.
That night and our last night in Coorg, we decided to have our dinner at another popular place called Freeman's, which is mostly known for its biryanis. It's a very simple, unpretentious, family-run business, which you can tell from the facade of the place. The biryani that was served there was, I wouldn't say that great, but it was nice.
Focus on having the biryani.
So with this, now it's time to wrap up this vlog. I hope it was a fun 25 minutes for you, either by way of entertainment or help for your upcoming or ongoing Coorg trip. I will see you in the next vlog. Do not forget to subscribe, like, comment and share, and I'll see you soon.